Hi there, welcome to my views. Thank you for joining the live chat session, viewers. Three new stories. Let me welcome the participants. Then I'll get a roundup of today's main topics with you. Klaus New, first one, says hi. How are you, Klaus? Peace and love, a member, a regular viewer, in touch with us for years. Welcome to you, peace and love. Hope you're doing fine. TE says, hello Sajid, good evening. How are you, TE? A name in Amharic, I cannot read it. He has written the name of a general, General Verkane Yadata. Nahom Gumata says, hi Sajid. Natnail Tiklemariam says, good evening. Internet connection is a little, its quality a little low today. Maybe that is why the connection disrupted a little. Dace Milash says hello. Farah Abdi, we need Ogaden region back to Somalia. Barak says hi Sajid. Just one quick response to Farah Abdi. He wants back. He wants Ogaden back. Is Somalia in a position to administer the Somalia which it has? Large parts under Al-Shabaab control, Ethiopian troops in Somalia, Afghan troops in Somalia, Kenyan troops here, Turkey has a military base here, UE has its footprints as well. I think Somalia should focus on what it has. It should enforce its writ in Somalia first, then it can talk about other regions, which could open a Pandora's box with neighboring regions. Ethiopia would claim Assab, Somalia would claim Ogaden, Ethiopia would claim Fashaga. So it won't stop. It will go on. Entire region will be destabilized. Core, Dang, did you confirm the death of Major General of ENDF? I'll speak on that. Shiva Tibirhi, Varkane means your gold in Amharic. Sam Sikio says, Siki says Sajid. Barak says Al Shabaab is Somalia. Hailu Arifine says, hi Sajid. How are you, Hailu? Three news stories, Basha here too. Firstly, Tigray released more prisoners today. And TPLF concluded 8-day long meeting today. TPLF issued a statement after this meeting. There is mention of a self-termination in the statement issued by the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Secondly, pro-Tigray news sources are claiming that an ENDF general has been injured in the Amhara region. Thirdly, a Somalia's police commander was killed in an attack by Al-Shabaab this morning. Al-Shabaab is stepping up attacks on Somalia's forces. Hassan Sheikh government is fighting on multiple fronts: political front, diplomatic front, regional front, and security front against Al-Shabaab. Vaisal says, hi Sajid, good evening. How are you, Vaisal? Do you have any information about Abi's continuous effort to make peace with Isaias? Well, maybe some background contacts are being made. Abi wants to renew ties with Hassan Sheikh too. At the same time, he's not officially withdrawing from the MOU. My view is that, my opinion is that Isas won't form any long-term strategic partnership with Abiy. Relations might improve a little, but now Ethiopia is not a reliable strategic partner for Eritrea. Mulugeta Shimalis says, hello, Sajid. I don't know I don't know about the contacts between Isas and Nabi. But as I said earlier, it won't change much. Sam Sikia says Afghanistan attacked Pakistan. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I don't know. I'm not following it. Don't know what is happening on Pakistan Afghanistan border. Let me start, viewers. Tigray released more prisoners today. Prisoners means Ethiopian National Defense Force members. 112 were released yesterday, and 100 more were free today. But in the last 2 days, Tigray has released around 212 ENDF members. After Pretoria deal, Tigray did not release all ENDF members. Some remained imprisoned in Tigray. Why? Because they were allegedly involved in human rights abuses, in crimes committed against the people of Tigray. That is why Tigray did not release them, and the federal government also did not release some ENDF. Lily Halle joined a member. How are you, Lily Halle? Uh, Federal government did not release Tigania speaking ENDF members. 2,000 were put in prisons after the start of Tigray war. Some were released and some were still in prison after Pretoria deal. Tigray has been demanding the release of Tigray speaking ENDF members, while Tigray was not releasing ENDF members from prison. But after the recent talks between Tigray and federal government in Addis Ababa, some understandings were reached. Ken Fedano was released from prison. Major General from Tigray, former head of MATEC. Then 112 released yesterday, 100 released today. The two sides have reached some understanding, at least to the extent of POWs. Can we call it prisoner exchange? I think that Ken Fei's release is linked to the release of ENDF members from Tigray. Two developments are definitely linked. Let's hope that there'll be more ENDF Iranian-speaking members, ENDF soldiers in Tigray will be released. But questions are being asked. Why didn't Tigray release these ENDF members? Pretoria was signed more than a year ago. If they committed human rights abuses, why are they being released now? These soldiers should have been brought to court. Shafo well joined too. Shafo is a member. Warm welcome to you, Shafo. How are you? So these questions are being asked. By the way, I've been saying that all parties involved in Tigray war committed human rights abuses in varying frequency, varying degrees. And no one is going to be held accountable. I said that 2 years ago, if you remember, those who have been watching me. I said 2 years ago that the issue of transitional justice will be used by the Tigray side to put pressure upon federal government. You'll never see justice served, and that is what has happened. By the way, all sides were accused of human rights abuses. Eritrean military, Ethiopian military, Tigray forces, rape allegations, extrajudicial killings. Yemaskan joined to member. Are you Yemaskan? And you see now that those ENDF members who were wanted in Tigray, they were imprisoned in Tigray. Tigray could not prosecute them. Why? Because the federal government is basically dictating terms. Tigray is fully dependent on federal government. And Tigray fighters were also accused of human rights abuses, sexual violence committed in the Amhara region. Nothing happened. No one was held accountable. So victims won't get justice. This a war which ate 500,000 people with the thousands of human rights abuses saw no accountability. This is what we can sum up. Secondly, a new story about TPLF. TPLF today concluded its 8-day long meeting in Makale. Godolia says, Brother Sajid, you are becoming forever young again. Happy to see you glowing up after your sickness time. Thank you. Real talk. Hello, Sajid. Do you think Volkait will be returned to Tigray? It's too early to say that Tigray is going to retake Volkait. There is many a slip between cup and lip, I think. Tigray wants Volkait back, but I don't think that in coming days or weeks, Volkait will be back under Tigray control. A lot will happen, you'll see that. Engeshom, Engesom photo joined too. How are you, Engesom photo? Gimorao Media here as well. Oromia Jito here too. So TPLF today concluded its 8-day long meeting. TPLF is holding long discussions. Their earlier meeting went on for months. This one luckily ended after 8 days. And more than 1,000 TPLF officials from different parts of Tigray came to Makale to attend this meeting. A statement was issued today by TPLF. TPLF is calling for implementation of Pretoria deal, saying it is committed to the deal. It is committed. It wants peace. It wants prosperity. It wants development. It wants implementation. It wants an important point in the statement is Tigray's right to self-determination. TPLF says that it will not withdraw from this right, which is given to all the people, all the regional states in the constitution. Irmias joined to a member. How are you, Irmias? And secondly, Tigray People Liberation Front wants elections in Tigray. It says that Tigray's sovereignty is in danger. Interim setup is in place. Election should be held. Thirdly, it is saying there is no dispute, no disagreement between the TPLF and Tigray interim government. Rumors are being spread. By the way, there were differences, disputes between the two sides. Tigray interim government refused to allow TPLF hold a meeting in Makale a few weeks ago. It happened. TPLF issued some statements criticizing Getachew. But things have changed now. Maybe the two sides have resolved their issues. That is why TPLF was allowed to hold this meeting for 8 days in Makale. There were some issues. So TPLF is asking all Tigrayans to unite and to work for the implementation of Pretoria deal. And issues like return of IDPs, etc., should be resolved. And TPLF seems to be opposing the entry of Prosperity Party in Tigray. That is what I got this impression from reading the statement that TPLF is saying that we won't allow PP, federal government, to gain a foothold in Tigray. By the way, it's part of Pretoria deal that the federal government will be represented in Tigray and vice versa too. And Tigray People Liberation Front, Tigray representatives will be adjusted on federal level. It has not happened so far. Prosperity Party wants to gain a foothold in Tigray, but TPLF is resisting. While it is not eligible to contest election, it sees Getachew's government with a pinch of salt that maybe Getachew is he's in secret pact with Abiy. So today's statement seems that Tigray People Liberation Front seems to have resolved its differences with the interim government of Tigray. But key issues are unresolved. No mention of Eritrean military border Eritrea in today's statement. Surprising a little because Whenever TPLF speaks, mostly it criticizes Eritrea, but this time no mention of alleged presence of Eritrean military in Tigray, which Eritrea denies. इससे हफ्ते Ephraim Tesfaye says, Sajid, in maybe 2 years from now, do you imagine that relations between Ethiopia and Eritrea have become somewhat better or worse? Well, I think that it depends upon who will be in power in the two countries after 2 years. As long as the two are in power, I think they have seen each other very well. They know each other very well. They won't be able to form any strategic partnership. If there is change of government in Ethiopia and Eritrea, we could see change like we saw in 2018 that EPRDF had to go, new government in Ethiopia took power, PMAB came to power. So we saw a resumption of relations, start of a new era between Ethiopia and Eritrea. But that dream of partnership was short-lived, and we saw start of war, and Eritrea intervened militarily. Relations improved between one section of Ethiopians and Eritrea. It wasn't a strategic partnership. It was only meant to crush TPLF. The Pretoria was signed, the two RBSAs drifted apart. Bishko says we need to resolve our problems with Eritrea peacefully. Yes, you're right. Talks should be held. Both will ever be neighbors. You have to live with your neighbors, whether you like them or not. Yes, relations should improve, I think. Yamaskan, is biryani your favorite? Yeah, if it tastes if its taste is good, I like it, but not my favorite, by the way. Secondly, viewers, yesterday we saw that Fano, Gujum Fano spokesperson claimed that uh, Brigadier General or Major General of Ethiopian National Defense Force had been killed by Fano fighters in Gujum. Gadisa Dero, Major General, I think, Prosperity Party backed activists denied, but so far, Sam Sikid, do you know how to swim? I don't know. I want to learn how to swim. I don't know. Damascus, I like things made of chicken mostly. But I like dal chawal too, boiled rice with pulses, etc. My food choice is very simple. Don't like fast food, burgers, pizzas, etc. So the Janel, is he alive? Has he been killed? Is he wounded? No one knows. Uh, Pano groups maintaining their position, they say, yes, the Janel has been killed. Military is silent, no denial from the military. And generally, military does not address Fano's claims. It addresses Fano's claims indirectly. So if General is alive, in coming days he'll appear. If it does not appear, it means he's not alive. That is the simple thing we can say. Secondly, since last night, we have been seeing another claim by pro-Fano news outlets, not by Fano commanders. These news outlets claim that another officer of Ethiopian National Defense Force has been injured in an attack by Fano fighters. His name is Janel Verkane, he was allegedly injured in North Gondar. Again, no confirmation. And this time, no statement from any Fano commander. Rather, pro-Fano news outlets are making this claim. So, confirmation awaited. Let's see. Military can only clarify. Engesom photo says, I wonder why we did not see Amhara diaspora protesting as Tigrayans did. Well, reason is simple. Amhara diaspora is split. There is no unity. And secondly, what they are doing, they are focused on fundraising and lobbying. For fundraising, they don't need to protest. For lobbying, they need to contact the people, relevant people in states in Europe. That is what they are doing, Amhara organizations. Basically, there are disputes among diaspora organizations and members in the US and Europe. Peace and love likes biryani. Long live Tigray says, you're not an honest man. You always try to create a false equivalence between Tigray and the rest of Ethiopia. A war crime committed in Tigray was seen nowhere in the country. I don't create false equivalence. Problem is that you don't want to listen to what TDF did in Amhara. I already said that the scale of human rights abuses by Tigray forces and other forces is different. I'm not saying that all committed the same number of human rights abuses, but it was, I think, Amnesty which released some reports about TDF members who committed atrocities in Amhara region. So you cannot say that TDF was an army of angels and ENDF, EDF armies of demons. No, sorry, all committed atrocities, all should be held accountable. Yemaskan says, Sajid, on behalf of Amhara, I can tell you when we start war, we don't cry and protest, we fight. Well, protest is a type of raising awareness. It's about uh, raising voice to achieve your objectives. It is about rallying support internationally for your narrative about the war, about the conflict. It's part of lobbying as well. Bishko says, how can Ethiopians free from this vicious cycle of war? Well, the solution is very simple. Talks should be held with involvement of all parties, armed groups, political parties, military, government, church, all should sit. That is the way forward. Comprehensive dialogue. Start from the beginning. Don't go deep into history of what happened decades ago. Agree on some new rules of engagement. Agree on the relations between government and regional states. But this dialogue is not happening. The government, ruling party, wants to consolidate its power. Regional governments insecure. They don't want federal government to be very powerful. And then there are ethnic issues to fight for power between Romos and Amharas. Role of church very crucial too. So lots of issues which can only be resolved through comprehensive dialogue, which is not happening. The Fox, Sajid, I think Sarah wants to be a journalist like you. No, uh, it's too early for her to decide what to do, but I don't force her. Let her do. I will let her do what she wants to do. This video making is just development of a skill for her. Making a video, or speaking for a few minutes, conducting research before speaking. It's a skill. I see it as a skill. So it's a good experience for her. It's a learning for her, I think. Will she like to be a journalist? That's up to her, what she wants. Chafo said, do you think IMF would approve budget while Ethiopia is opting to spend on arms purchases? Uh, I think when IMF approves loans for governments, it ensures the money is spent on people. It won't allow Ethiopia to purchase weapons from this money. IMF only wants to ensure that Ethiopia is in a position to return the loan. That is why they impose restrictions like they ask the government to devalue currencies, they ask governments to increase tariffs, they ask governments to lower subsidies. They plan entire budget, you can say. Why? Because they want to recover their money. So I don't think Abiy will be able to buy weapons, but obviously every country has a right to buy weapons. You cannot deny this right to the government of Ethiopia. Ethiopia has every right to buy weapons. No one can deny that right. Cap OG, you don't answer our questions. How many questions do you ask, Cap OG? Dr. Admaso here too. David, Sajid, I like the way you report Ethiopian news and your analysis of events. What do you think about institutional discrimination Amhara people are facing because of constitution? Well, when I talk to Oromos, they say Amharas are dominating. They say that Amharas have been dominating for years. They say in Addis Ababa, Amharas are in top positions. Gradually, Oromos are being adjusted. When I talk to Amharas, they say Oromos want to sideline Amharas. That is why I say that a new agreement is needed, a new start, comprehensive dialogue. Otherwise, this mistrust will go on. Amharas mistrust Oromos, Oromos mistrust Amharas, both mistrust Tigrayans too. So, how will any solution be found? Magnetism, little late today. Lastly, viewers, Somalia, where a police commander was killed in an attack by Al Shabaab today. Al Shabaab overran military base of Somalia's military in Lower Shabelle, close to Mogadishu today. This morning, Al Shabaab attacked this base. And Liban Gulad, who is commander of Somalia's police, was killed in this attack. And several other soldiers were killed too. Al Shabaab claimed it killed around 50 soldiers in this attack. Graphic videos have been published by Al Shabaab showing Somalia's soldiers who were killed in this attack by Al Shabaab on the military base close to Mogadishu. This is second attack by Al Shabaab in the last 1 week in Lower Shubale, close to Mogadishu. Al Shabaab hit Mogadishu as well when a few days ago they stormed a hotel, SYL Hotel in Mogadishu. They're carrying out attacks on military installations while Hassan Sheikh government is grappling with political disagreements with opposition politicians. Al Shabaab's renewed attacks are definitely a matter of concern for Hassan Sheikh's government. The government needs a new motivation, new plan to push Al Shabaab away from Mogadishu, the capital city. So far, Almost on daily basis, we're receiving reports of new attacks by Al-Shabaab fighters against Somalia. Hagos says, my views on the neutral news channel as always. Thank you, Hagos. Farah says, why are Ethiopian Oromos interested in Somaliland? Well, they want to have access to the sea. Somaliland is a better choice for them than the ports in Somalia. Assab is a better choice as well. Djibouti, Ethiopia says, has been blackmailing Ethiopia, increasing port tariffs. So Ethiopia wants to have access to other ports too. And secondly, maybe UAE wants Ethiopia to divert its imports, exports from Djibouti to Berbera because UAE is a shareholder in Berbera. Obviously, if Ethiopia diverts its business to Berbera, it will be a huge boost for the Berbera port, and UAE will earn. And Abiy and Mohammed bin Zayed are very close. Yeah, I agree, Bishko, that TPLF, EDF always call for international investigation. I agree. But if investigation is conducted, suppose, into human rights abuses, a report is published, will Tigray accept the report or not? Because I have covered all the massacres which happened in the 2-year-long war in Tigray. All the reports, I did videos on that from Amnesty, from Human Rights Watch, etc. Reports which were in favor of Ethiopian government were accepted by Ethiopian government, rejected by TPLF. Reports favoring, or you can say reports mentioning the abuses by ENDF and EDF were accepted by Tigray, rejected by the federal government and Eritrean government as well. So who will guarantee that if investigation is conducted, its recommendations will be binding? No one can guarantee that. That is why if the inquiry findings suit Tigray, Tigray will accept it. If findings suit federal government will accept it. If the findings don't suit the party, they'll reject it. That is what has been happening. I have done scores of videos on reports by these human rights organizations. Lam Tespa says, why not just let Sarah do that fun and light stuff like holiday events, celebrations? It does that on some of the platforms, but not here. Michael Kidane joined too. He says, hi. Do you think Al Shabaab will attack Ethiopia next? So, Al Shabaab tried to attack Ethiopia last year, if you remember. It could not make inroads into Ethiopia. Difficult for Al Shabaab. If it expands, its supplies will be overstretched. It will be difficult for Al Shabaab to gain foothold in Ethiopia. It needs to have support of public here in Somali region of Ethiopia. I don't see Al Shabaab entering Ethiopia now. Maybe in changed circumstances, we could see Al Shabaab trying to enter Ethiopia. Damascus says, Sajid, there is a clash in more than 10 towns in Amhara region. Are you getting the information? Yes, I'm getting the information, but I try to report those clashes which are of significance. Like I reported about Fano's entry in debris cost today. I talked about Fano's operations near Bahirda a few days ago. I only report those which are significant developments. So 36 minutes have passed. I think we should end this live chat session. I covered three topics today. Tigray has released more ENDF members, 212 released so far. Why were they kept in prison in Tigray for more than a year after Pretoria? If they committed uh, crimes, why are they being released? TPLF issued a statement today saying it will not withdraw from Tigray's right to self-determination, which is guaranteed in Ethiopian constitution, saying there is no dispute between Tigray interim government and Ethiopian federal and TPLF. TPLF wants elections in Tigray to be held. Secondly, rumors being spread about an ENDF general that he has been injured in attack by Fano fighters in North Gondar. Varkan is his name, unconfirmed. We could not confirm that. And thirdly, Somalia's police officer was killed along with other dozens of Somalia soldiers in an attack by Al Shabaab fighters this morning in Shabale, Lower Shabale, I think, to the west of, close to Mogadishu, Somalia's capital. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tolerating me for 37 minutes. See you tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye. Till then. Thank you for watching.